nice. So that was fun. And there's not really much else I want to say. Oh, of course, I went out and I met up with the lads. You know, do you remember the story I told on Mika's channel, The Tale of the Endless Tunnel? It was those guys. It was the lads, and we went and we met up, and we went out for drinks. We had Las Iguanas, and we had a bunch of cocktails. And then we went down the pub, and we had a few pints, and we played pool. And I got my ass handed to me, but it was still fun. And we went, and I was like, this is the first time in a long time that I'd been properly like drunk out with people, and it was so nice. We met up with the lads, and we went out for a nice drink, and I got pretty drunk. I was like, not drunk to the point where I was like falling around and acting a fool, but I was drunk to the point where I was like, certainly in silly mode, 100%. You know, I was in silly mode, like perfectly, but that doesn't really matter too much. You know, I was having a good time, and I was drunk to the point where we were walking home, and I was. And like we hit a point where there was a big hill, and I was like, I saw the big hill, and I was already tired, and so I was walking back, and then I saw one of the houses along the hill had like a bush in front of it. It had a bush, and I was like, oh, that looks really comfortable, and so I like got up, and with this big fluffy coat I was wearing, I lay down on the bush, and I mean it when I say that it wasn't a bush, it was a hedge. It was a hedge, like a really well-trimmed hedge. And I lay on top of it, and I mean it when I say that might honestly have been the most comfortable that I have been in a long-ass time. Like, something about the bounciness of the bush that would normally like prick your back, but I had this big fluffy coat, so there was a layer between me and the bush, and so I lay there, and I genuinely could have fallen asleep. That would have been like my bed of meditation. Thankfully I didn't, because I know that if I had stayed there, I probably would have rolled off and smacked my head on the pavement, and that probably would have been a pretty bad idea. But thankfully that didn't wind up happening. The lads were like, come on Vox, get the fuck up, and they just grabbed me and were like, ugh, and they just yanked me, and they were like, come on, let's get up this hill, and I was like, ugh, I'm a bush, if I'm not a bush, I'm not no one. And then I went back to the bush, but it was fine in the end. That's pretty much all that happened. Met up with the lads, saw my family, spent some time relaxing.